Welcome to Too Old, Too New, the music discovery podcast that brings you something old, something new, something Nate, something Bruce. I'm Nate Runkle, host of the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast, and with me, as always, is my good friend Bruce Warren from WXPN. The premise of this show is simple. Each week, we bring you two songs apiece. One new song that has been metaphorically spinning our turntable platters, and one old song that we believe still absolutely matters. What is up, my friend? How we doing this week?
Doing great. Phillies are on a roll. I'm really happy.
Heck yeah.
I've kind of put the crapness of the 76ers season behind me, and I'm all about the red. Now, this is not a Phillies hoodie, but like I was wearing my bright baby blue Phillies hoodie yesterday. But I realized I got to get a classic old school Phillies hoodie. So that's what I'm thinking about today, among other things. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's funny you said that because I was just looking. Have you seen like the sleeveless hoodies that they sell for the Phils now? I was looking at one of those the other day. Pretty good.
I will never wear a sleeveless hoodie.
You're not a sleeveless hoodie?
Nah.
You are a hoodie in the summer guy, though. I appreciate that.
I am. But if you're going to go hoodie in the summer, go fucking full-on hoodie in the summer, okay?
Hell yeah. I get
None
it.
of this,
no half-ass in it.
No half-ass shit. What can I tell you?
So we have four incredible songs this week. And I
Yes,
know
we
I
do.
say that every week, but these I feel like are all hitters. Do you want to kick things off?
I sure will. So the first song we're going to play, the first new song we're going to play is a song that is storming the charts, as they say. It's a song by a guy named Tommy Richman. I never heard of Tommy Richman before last weekend. My two young men / kids introduced me to him and said, "You don't know this song? It's a fucking banger." And I put it on, and we're sitting around the house, and we were all dancing in like 2 seconds. Tommy Richman, originally from Virginia. I don't really know much about him. He's done a bunch of stuff over the last few years. He's a rapper, does hip hop music, a lot of SoundCloud stuff. But this song is an undeniable banger. And I think, right? It's called $1 Million Baby. I think, yeah, it's called $1 Million Baby. It's Tommy Richman. Here you go. Oh yeah. You can let this ride. It's like Cruising by Smokey Robinson, but in a totally different genre. It's like you can just listen to this endless over and over and over again. I love this song. It's just simple. It's totally in the pocket, right? It's got the 808s, right? It's in the zone of like 130, 135 BPM. You just settle into it like a warm fucking blanket, man. And it is just the jam. And I will also say that my kids introduced this as, what do you mean? You haven't heard the song of the summer? So we'll see what happens.
All right.
All
Yes,
right.
This is the first I've heard it. And like you said, an immediate like dancer. Like I was immediately vibing to this song. And like, look, I'm a sucker for falsetto, as you're going to hear in my new pick coming up. But like what a great voice he has on top of like whatever, the rest of, the rapping and the lyrics and all that. But just a great singing voice as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Tommy Richman. What do you got?
So for mine, last week you said you didn't want to become the guy who picks off Philly, and then I go ahead, and now that's what I'm doing is picking off Philly. For me, my pick this week comes from an upcoming live album being released by Bilal. Bilal's a Philly R&B neo-soul artist who deserves to have been bigger than he was in my eyes. He was absolutely phenomenal. And this song, the live version, features Questlove, Robert Glasper, and somebody whose name I completely forget off the top of my head. I know his last name is Travis, but I can't remember his first name, and that's a killer. But this song is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to play it for a second, and then I'm going to look up who else is on it so I can tell you after the song plays. So here is my Bilal choice. So that is Something to Hold by Bilal. absolutely phenomenal. And the gentleman whose name I forgot was Burniss Travis. I can't believe I forgot that. It's such a easy to remember name. But that song was originally on a album, what would have been his second album, that back in the day leaked online, and Interscope shelved it. The album never came out. And it's out there. You can find it because it leaked, obviously. And it's absolutely phenomenal. And I really would put this out there. I don't know who needs to hear this. Hope that somebody revisits it someday for like a record store day or something. It's prime for that to be released. Limited run if they did it. I feel like there's only money to be made. But that's Something to Hold by Bilal. And I cannot wait for this live album.
So it's a new release, right?
Yeah. So this recording is from they did a live set with the four of them, and I think Common is actually on one of the songs coming out. But it was for a small little room of like 100 people. And it like, if this is any measure of what this album's going to sound like, this is going to be an absolute vibe, and I know I'm going to listen to it all summer.
Yeah, that's pretty tight. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so like live in front of 100 people or so. All right, Nate, off the top of your head, favorite / best live albums?
Ooh, that's tough.
You got a few. There are no wrong answers here. Okay, so you know.
So I don't know about favorite, but well, no, these are definitely favorites. I wouldn't go bests or anything like that.
Okay.
But ones that I don't know that anybody would really know about, which is why I'd like to put it out there. One of them is Mike Ness did a solo album. It might actually be considered a Social D solo album, but it's
Mike Ness.
Yes, but it's absolutely phenomenal. I love it so much, and he tells stories in between and stuff like that, and it's just fantastic stuff. And the other one I'll mention is Positive Rage by Hold Steady, and the reason I mention that is because the Hold Steady are one of those bands that I feel are so much better live than they are on album. Something on the album just never really captures the ferocity of their music, and Positive Rage is a perfect example of that. How about you? What do you got for live?
Well, first of all, I never knew that Hold Steady had a live album out, so I'm definitely going to check that one out. I'm going to go with some classics. Bob Marley live.
Oh, God, right? Yeah.
Waiting for Columbus, Little Feat. I'm a huge Little Feat fan. Waiting for Columbus. And I'll just add, Bob Seger did an amazing live album, and I can't remember the name of it, very early in his career, but it's a good one. It's a good one. So there you go. Those are my live album choices. I could have gone with anything else, but who the fuck knows?
That's right. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me.
Exactly.
So speaking of live, real quick, you guys just announced the 5 final artists playing the XPoNential Music Festival today, which is exciting because we got Guster, we got Brittany Ann Trambaugh, who's a pal of mine, Julia Pratt, who's a former guest of the Yo That's My Jawn podcast. Just throwing that out there if anybody wants to hear it.
That's right.
So here's my question. You guys did 3 announcements on the festival for artist lineup, right? Something like that. Like you broke it out. What was the decision behind kind of slow rolling the full lineup? Was it availability and when you were allowed to announce, or was it a combination?
Yeah, it was a combination of those two things. Not everything lines up. There's a boats load of bands touring right now. And so, for example, Julia Pratt, who is just, one of Philly's up-and-coming, fantastically talented singer-songwriters, Julia had a couple dates here in Philly, and we wanted to honor those dates. And so, yeah, we keep track of that stuff, out of respect to the artist, radius clauses, that kind of stuff, that are kind of boring to most people. But a lot of that's sort of what goes into it. And, you mentioned Brittany and Julia Pratt. They are two of Philly's finest emerging singer-songwriters. Sort of both working in different kind of styles. But as you know, because you're from here and we hang out and we see a lot of music together, Philly has been on fire for a really, really long time. So we're really psyched that they're going to be playing along with a whole bunch of other Philly bands. But yeah, we also Green Sky.
Yeah,
and
great bluegrass.
trampled by turtles.
Yes,
are also
I forgot
playing.
those.
So yeah, that's all right. That's okay. But we're psyched.
So that's September 20th. If any, the weekend of the 20th. If anybody wants to buy tickets, they're available.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that, Nate. Thank you for that. My boss would have probably watched this and like, God damn it, he forgot to say the dates of the festival. What can I tell you?
Also on the theme of live, I'll go with my old pick here, which is anybody who knows me and anybody who follows this show, knowing me, is probably surprised by the restraint that I've shown, that it has taken me 6 episodes before I've said the words G-Love. But my old pick is a song by G-Love this week in honor of the 30th anniversary of the release of his debut record, which was this past Friday, which also 30 years. Holy shit. G-Love is without a doubt the biggest inspiration to my own original music, hands down. The music I make would not exist without him, because he was the first person I ever heard, kind of bridge rock and rap in a way that felt accessible to me, because I was an acoustic player. And so like that kind of like bluesy kind of hip hop acoustic kind of feel was like a revelation to me. It was, and I've told him this, I owe it all to him. The fact that it took me 6 episodes to say my pick this week is a song by G-Love. This is actually a live version that came out on the 30th anniversary release from the Knitting Factory, recorded in 94. And it is an absolute banger. And let me hit that up right now. So that is Yo. I think that I heard that, okay, yes, I did kind of pick it because Yo, that's my Jawn. Look, you got to stay on brand, my friend. But
right.
It's a perfect encapsulation of just how tight the three of them, Houseman, Jimmy Jazz, and G are together. And it's just I'll send you some of the stuff that I recorded back in the day, and you'll hear it and go, oh yeah, no, there's nobody else. You are doing G-Love. That's what you're doing. So,
I every time G and Special Sauce played when they were first starting out, the first couple albums, I would go see them because they're just so much fun, And Garrett is a great entertainer. He's a fantastic entertainer. Always had a great rapport with an audience, whether he's with a band or just by himself. And that's always a good sign. So good, nice pick.
And he hustles hard, man. That guy is always playing shows, man.
Totally hustles. So good pick.
What do you got for old?
I'm going back to the early 80s for this one. Grace Jones, one of my favorite all-time artists, singers, and 83, this record came out called Living My Life. It was recorded in the Bahamas and at a legendary studio, a place called Compass Point, produced by a legendary producer, a guy named Chris Blackwell. These are some names some folks might know. Most importantly, the record, as many of her records did, featured the incredible rhythm section of Sly Dunbar on drums and Robbie Shakespeare on bass. Also, Mikey Chung on guitar. These guys are just legends, and the music is just so. I use the word in the pocket a lot. It's just so there. It's just so on the beat. And I always love this song. It's called My Jamaican Guy. This is Grace Jones. So that's Grace Jones, right? You can feel that, right?
Oh my God, absolutely. And it's weird. I feel like Grace Jones is one of those people who I always expected to be bigger and more in the conversation throughout my life, because early on in my life, she was everywhere. I mean, not just musically, not just fashion and image, but also acting. She's absolutely incredible in that Conan film. She's incredible in the James Bond: A View to a Kill. And it's like she disappeared somewhere, but to me, an absolute phenomenal talent.
Yeah, incredible. And it's it's interesting, the fact that she's always surrounded, Grace has always surrounded herself with incredible players, and I think that comes through on all around. Now, for those of you who are sort of new to Grace Jones, I guess her most popular song is that song "Pull Up to the Bumper," which you probably know if you heard it, but the deep tracks off the records are just so phenomenal. And the other person I wanted to mention that plays on this record is a keyboardist named, I'm gonna mispronounce their last name. It's Wally Badarou, I think is his last name. Badrou, I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'd recognized his name from other albums. Like he played for a ton of people, Talking Heads, like the list goes on and on. But he was originally from a band called Level 42 that I never knew. It was a sort of a jazzy, fusion-y band, sort of, right? But always surrounded herself with incredible musicians. And that song right there, My Jamaican Guy, has always been one of my favorites. So there you go.
And
there
it should be noted for the listeners, if the little bit of My Jamaican Guy sounds familiar, you might also know it as reworked and sampled in Doing It by LL Cool J.
That's right. Doing it. I'm doing it. Good catch. I kind of forgot that, but as soon as you started saying that, I knew you were going there.
I'm always, if it's a reference to LL Cool J, I'm there. I'm there.
All right.
So
I'll keep that in mind.
Another 4 perfect songs this week. And one other thing I want to shout out, because he seems to forget to want to promote things, is you're moderating Eliza Hardy-Jones's upcoming album release celebration, correct?
Thank you very much, Nate. That is absolutely correct. Yes. Eliza Hardy-Jones from Philly has an amazing new album out, and she's doing a record release thing, and they asked me to go up and talk to her about the album, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's May. I know it's the end of May. It's at the 48.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. 48 Record Bar, I think, right? That's where it's at. So I know where it is. I think I have the date on my calendar, but I love Eliza, and she's the best. So come on out. Have fun.
You heard it here, folks. Well, that's going to bring it to the end for another great episode of Too Old, Too New. Don't forget, you can follow us on the socials. You can follow me at Yo, That's My Jawn, and you can follow Bruce at Some Velvet Blog on all platforms. You can also hear Bruce every Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m. on WXPN, and you can listen to me on Why Not Radio every Monday from 5 to 8 p.m. and also on the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast. This week, Monday, new episode with Autumn Luz, and phenomenal conversation, and her partners, Samwy. So be on the lookout for that. Bruce, as always, man, thanks for doing this.
All right, we're out. Thank you. See you soon.